Hi, welcome to Reliably Republican. I am Casey Crosbie, your host, and today I'm very excited to welcome my special guest and my good friend, Miss Julie Harris, who is president of the National Federation of Republican Women. Hey, Julie.
Hey, it's good to be with you.
It's great to see you. I feel like we're together quite often here lately. So welcome to the show.
Yeah, we have some important work to do. I'm looking forward to this today.
Yeah, we sure do. And, I know that we are limited on time today, so I'll probably just jump right in. And first, I just want to say it has been just a joy to get to work with you in our respective capacities. And I know that we have talked about many different things on how to get women more involved and have launched a new program. So I'll just start with maybe you going into the program that we started together and sort of how things are going.
Well, I'm very excited about the WIN program, Women Increase Numbers, and especially our website, Women That Win. I love that as well. And you and I will be doing a panel with Mercedes Schlapp coming up this month in Orlando at our convention, and I'm really looking forward to rolling that out with even more women who are going to be joining these efforts. But I was so grateful that you came to us and asked us to partner with the RNC, the NFRW. We are great at grassroots. That's what we are. We're a grassroots organization. 87 years this year. We're the longest running, largest all-women's Republican grassroots organization. And we, as you know, Casey, we were started 87 years ago to foster loyalty to the party. We're not a special interest group. We are a Republican organization, and we were originally started by National Committee women under the RNC, and then various reasons, the different affiliates ended up becoming independent down through the years. There's a whole history with that. Some of it has to do with campaign finance for various reasons. But we have remained true to our mission, which is to grow the Republican Party, to work in unity with the RNC, and to get Republicans elected. So I'm so excited to be working with you and to be winning in New Jersey and in Virginia. I believe that it's doable. I know there's a lot of, I was just reading today, some of the media's perspective on what's coming in New Jersey and in Virginia, but they're not doing what you and I are doing. We're there on the ground. We're feeling the pulse of the voters, and I believe that both states are winnable.
I know we just did a training together last week, Protect the Vote training in Virginia. I know that we were in New Jersey together, and I tell people all the time, it's kind of hard to articulate what you're feeling on the ground unless you're there. And so I always think it's funny when the media tries to say, oh, so-and-so's losing by this amount and they have no chance. And when you're on the ground, you're feeling a completely different excitement. Can you talk a little bit about maybe those trainings and what you experienced as well? I know I was really excited after we left.
Yeah. Well, two, we've done one in New Jersey, and I think they've even had more even after you and I left. And then we just recently had one in Virginia, and to see the size of the room. And this is training on keeping the vote safe. This isn't even rolling out our door-to-door and our phone calling, which will be even 4 times that size, but to have a full room in both Virginia and in New Jersey of women signing up to say they want to be poll watchers. They want to be there to protect the integrity of the vote. And what was interesting in Virginia is we had some ladies from Maryland even come over, which of course they cannot work the polls, but they said, you know what we can do that day though? We can be there to bring drinks to them. We can be there to hold signs up outside because we want to be here to help. And it's not just women. I keep saying women because that's what I work with a lot, but we've got some men in the room as well. This isn't just for women. It's just women leading the charge. So it's been very encouraging to see so many people. And after we do one of these events, and, we'll post our pictures up to show our members what we're doing. We get inundated with emails of people saying, let me know when you're ready to start the door-to-door, which we are, and the phone calling, which is already underway, because we want to come. We want to be there. So it'll be it'll be a combination of things. Those in state who can be poll watchers and can volunteer, and then those who are going to be there to knock the doors, make the phone calls.
So I know when you and I were talking about the concept of this program, we sort of discussed quite a bit the excitement around the Trump Force 47 and how successful that was, and how important it was that not only we were getting people to volunteer, but also following up with them. And, and you brought up a great point, which I think speaks to the enthusiasm of 2025 leading into 2026, is that I know in my home state of Kentucky, I know your home state of Arkansas, we have women. There's nothing going on here right now in 2025. So we have men and women who are very interested in helping us with this initiative and piloting it in Virginia, New Jersey. So that's kind of been exciting too, to see how the enthusiasm is catching on across the country. And I think it's going to provide us a really good resource going into 2026 with these midterms. We're going to learn a little bit about what we did right and what we did wrong, but I think it'll be a great opportunity leading into 2026. You mentioned a little bit about looking at the history of the NFRW. I'm curious, what's one of the most interesting facts you found? Because I know this has been important to you, kind of doing a genealogy, if you will, of how you all started and going through the years and looking at your group from a historical perspective. What are some of the interesting things you found?
Right. Well, and we've actually written a book with the president from New Hampshire, and so we'll be rolling that out soon. One thing that stood out to me was we actually came in after that Roosevelt landslide of 1936, and the Republicans had lost every state but Maine and Vermont. And it's hard to believe that those were the two holdouts for the Republican Party of 1936. And then 1937 is when they tapped the National Committee woman from Maine to go on the road and to assess all these Republican women clubs that were just organically popping up. No organized organization. They were not under the RNC. These are women who had fought for their right to vote and were just doing what women do. We just go to work. And so Marion Martin, the National Committee woman from Maine, was hired by the RNC to travel around, assess all these groups, and see if she could bring them in to an organized organization. Her vision was that it would be a national organization, run under it a state federation, and then the states would work with their local clubs, which is exactly our structure today. And that is how we were birthed, if you will, out of defeat. But what really stood out to me, the thing that was so meaningful to me, was that as I was doing this research, I could find the National Federation of Republican Women in every single presidential library archives because of our Republican presidents, because of our interaction with our president. And our first White House victory was Eisenhower. And the first day that Mrs. Eisenhower was in office, she invited the National Federation of Republican Women in for tea. They were so grateful for the women and for their work in helping to win it for Eisenhower. We had a bus that we joined with the RNC and did a bus tour with Eisenhower. We did it again for Nixon. We did it again in 2016 for President Trump. And now we're joining with you. It's a little bit different than a bus tour, but we're going to deliver victory again in Virginia and in New Hampshire. I'm sorry, not New Hampshire, New Jersey, and get ready for the 2026 elections, because that's what our women are excited about. And they're willing to work in 2025 to get ready for 2026.
Well, and I think that you bring up a good point, is over the years, we've seen how campaigns have transformed and how we have to do things a little differently. And I know when you and I first started talking, that was one of the frustrations, is that while we all love a great bus tour, that really wasn't engaging our women to their capacity of what they could be doing to influence elections. And so, but speaking of the work you put in, because I know in 2024, you personally organized a lot of women to knock on doors in swing states. I think particularly Pennsylvania, I've heard you say. Talk a little bit about those efforts. And I mean, I know even in my home state of Kentucky, we did over 10,000 postcards in like 24 hours. So if you could comment a little bit about what you organized and where you guys were and how many doors you knocked, I think it would be nice for our viewers to hear just the efforts that we go to and the links we go to make sure we elect Republicans.
Yeah, so, as I said, we're a grassroots organization. That's our niche. That's the one thing that we offer to every campaign cycle. And so while we have our local clubs working at the local level and our state federations working in every state, we also will look at on a national scale, where do we need to have extra support, extra help? And so what we did this time, and we've done it in the past, but this time we did it even more so, we were much more aggressive, is we organized what we call strike forces. And a strike force is where we bring women from across the country into a battleground state, and we give that extra push, that extra help to the state federations. And so we did Pennsylvania, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan. There were two more. I'm missing some, but all the battleground states, we were there. And when we just collected all of our final data, because we're getting ready for our convention and we need to roll that out, we did almost 11 million. It was 10.9 million volunteer hours.
Wow.
We did 3.89. It was close to 4 million phone calls. Tens of thousands of doors across the country, and specifically in those 7 battleground states. And then we, like you said, we did a lot of postcards. I never did get the final count on the postcards. What we're asking for 2025, we've asked our women, and meeting this month at our convention where we're expecting at least 1,500 of our women to show up. And these are the 1,500 women that represent our 60,000 members. We are asking them to do this again, but to focus on just 2 states, Virginia and New Jersey. Do it all again and focus on 2 states, because this will set the tone for the midterm. And I believe we can do it, Casey. I believe with the RNC and with the NFRW, we are unstoppable when we work together.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's one thing we found during the last cycle, electing President Trump and also delivering, the House and Senate, is that when we all work together, we have all these different constituency groups, but when everybody's coordinated, and, it doesn't make any sense for, Turning Point to send in people where NFRW has thousands of people walking, or the America PAC or Faith and Freedom. And so it's been kind of nice that for the first time we've seen this level of coordination. And, and I think it really speaks to President Trump's leadership too, that he brings people together, and where we've seen him grow pretty much every demographic, but most importantly to us women. I mean, he's grown that demographic, and now we need to capitalize on that and make sure that we're capturing them and keeping them involved and engaged, because, what I have seen is the issues haven't changed that much. We still care that our communities are safe, that we're able to provide for our families, and that the border is safe. And, I think those are still issues that we're going to face in 2025 moving into 26. So, tell me a little bit about your convention. I'm excited. I get to be there on Friday night with you, and we're going to do a panel. But tell me a little bit about your upcoming convention, where it is, some of the highlights, and what you expect.
Well, we're going to be in Orlando, and not sure if you understand how we pick our locations, but it is chosen by our board of directors 2 years prior. So this was chosen a couple of years ago to be here in Orlando. We're excited to be back in Florida. We call it the state of freedom, the land of freedom. And we have a great lineup of speakers. If I tried to start listing every one of them, I'd forget some very important ones. A couple that are new to us that I'm real excited about. One is the Give, Send, Go founder. He and his sister started Give, Send, Go. It's a free speech crowdsourcing platform. So it's the alternative to GoFundMe. And it's a remarkable story. and I've heard him speak on this before, and he talks about how during COVID, when there was so much being shut down and you didn't have freedom of speech, they allowed free speech. And even maybe speech they didn't agree with, if it's not illegal, then it's allowed on their free speech platform. And they just exploded, and they have done great work, raised millions of dollars for the flood victims in Texas. And so I would encourage all of your listeners to, if they're looking for an alternative to GoFundMe, to check out the Give, Send, Go. They're a great Christian company. And then I'm real excited about Steve Green. And Steve Green doesn't typically do a lot of political events, but his remarkable story, being with Hobby Lobby and the chairman of the Bible Museum. These are some speakers we brought in from corporate America, and we'll have some great Florida speakers. We'll have Byron Donalds. We're expecting the governor. We're even expecting some of our cabinet members, possibly. We're not quite ready to roll those out yet. Of course, you and many others of, high profile favorites of the Republican women, but to kind of partner with corporate America was something we went after this time to highlight and to try to encourage our women to support these great companies that are trying to do good in America. And so we're excited about these new guys as well.
Yeah, so it starts on a Friday night, am I correct? And
it
goes
does.
And how long does it last?
Okay, so we have some pre-convention events for the board and some of our members on Thursday, but the rollout Friday night is celebrating America's 250th birthday. And I hear we might have a special appearance from Uncle Sam and possibly some other American icons. And that's when you will be there. That is Friday. And then, of course, we have our convention business on Saturday and Sunday, mixed in with some of our special speakers. And we will be electing a new exec committee on Sunday. And then after the convention is over, we'll all go home and get to work.
That's amazing. I'm excited to be there. I can't wait to be on a panel with you. I know both of us go and we speak so often to a lot of women's groups. And I thought, this will be fun to actually get somebody, be on the hot seat a little bit and get some questions fired at us. Although I don't think Mercedes is going to be too difficult. I wouldn't imagine. But I think it's also, as I've traveled the country, I've had so many women also really interested in the effort that we're doing together. So I think it'll also be a great time to officially roll out with your group as well. So I'm excited about it. And, I have to say, I've gotten some of the most amazing feedback from the RNC members, because it's given them really an opportunity to reach out to the women's groups where maybe some of them have not worked as closely in the past. Some of them have worked very closely, but that it's also given them renewed energy to work together. Yeah. So, so I think we're doing great things. I'm excited to expand it a little bit. And again, we've got some important races coming up in 2025. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with the women, putting both those candidates over the finish line. So
I think so. We're excited. We're very excited. Our women are so happy to be helping their Republican sisters in New Jersey and in Virginia. And I think the momentum is with us. And I was reading today, haven't gotten to read the full article, but it was a headline that the Democrat candidate in Virginia is trying to distance themselves from the mayor's race in New York. And I realized what an identity crisis the Democrat Party is having. The Democrat Party is at like a 30-year low with their approval rating among their own people. So this is the year for us to capitalize on that and be the solution for the crisis that the Democrats has taken America into.
Well, these candidates, you bring up a good point about the popularity right now of the Democrats, or the lack of popularity, and how they're just tanking in the polls. And, it's funny because when you have leaders like Mom Donnie, AOC, I mean, that just doesn't resonate with places like you and I are from, and particularly middle America. And, I find it interesting too. I mean, they keep fighting for things that to me just make no sense, like open borders and keeping these MS-13. I know you and I were at an event and we both heard how MS-13 gang members are recruiting middle schoolers in Fairfax
Yeah.
County, Virginia. And it's insane to me that this is the party that's fighting to keep these people in our country. And every Democrat voted against providing tax relief. They voted for the largest tax increase for Americans in history. I mean, they're just completely out of touch.
Yeah.
So
Tone deaf.
completely tone deaf. And here you have two women running in New Jersey and Virginia that are trying to separate themselves from their party and make themselves moderate, but they've got extreme records. And so I think it's important what we're doing, because women need to know they are not moderates. And
No.
you know, I laugh even with Virginia that she said it would be a sanctuary state. You and I both know, as we talk to women, that is not what they want. So we've got our work cut out for us, but we've got a little time, and we can make a difference in these two states.
I believe it.
Yeah. So I just want to also say on a personal level, thank you for everything that you do. You have been an amazing NFRW president, and I could not think of a better person for me to get to work with as co-chair the past couple of years. I know we've had a lot of fun doing some things and creating new programs, but not just that. We've become friends, and I'm just truly grateful for everything that you've done. And I know that you are off to do a radio interview, or excuse me, TV hit today. So I appreciate you taking the time to be with us, and I'll probably see you in the next week. We'll be doing something fun together to get it out.
Thank you so much. And I don't know if you figured it out yet, but you're one of NFRW's favorites. You're one of the most asked for phone numbers. Can you help me get in touch with Casey's people? So I hope they're not overwhelming your team, but I know.
No, we love it.
Looking forward to having you.
It's an amazing opportunity, not just to work with you, but women across the country. I'm honored that they ask for me. So thank you so much, Julia. You have a great day, and I'll see you here in a few days.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining me today for Reliably Republican with our special guest, Miss Julie Harris, who is president of the National Federation of Republican Women. It has been such a joy for me to get to work with Julie on some new women's initiatives that we have launched for the 2025 gubernatorial campaigns, and also then looking into 2026 with our midterms. Julie is a worker bee, and we talked about not only our new initiatives, but a lot of great things that she's been doing with the National Federation of Republican Women. So hope you all enjoyed the show today. Thank you.